Well,
How
thank
are
you.
you?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Derek, for being with us today on the Energized Empath Show. It is absolutely an honor to have you here with us.
The feeling is mutual.
Excellent. Without further ado, I'll introduce you. Derek Rydall is a best-selling author, transformational teacher, and the founder of the Law of Emergence and the Impact Program. A pioneering voice in personal development, he has coached and trained thousands worldwide, from top executives and entrepreneurs to artists and spiritual seekers, helping them align with their true purpose and express their highest potential. Through his books Emergence and The Abundance Project, Derek shares a revolutionary message. You are not here to fix yourself, but to let your innate wholeness and divine potential emerge. So, without further ado, Derek, I would just love to ask you, what does it take for an empath to feel energized and inspired by life?
Sorry about that. The first thing it takes is to unmute yourself, to find your voice. That's the first step, is to honor your voice. Well, there's so much to say about that. Thanks, Barbara. And, I've worked with a lot of empaths and sensitive people over the years. And I think the first, a lot in my experience with working with them, a lot of people become empaths and become sensitive often because there was early trauma of some kind. And the message of that trauma was a couple of things. One is that the world isn't safe, that they don't quite fit in. And so there can be a dissociation that happens early on, but it also allows them to be in touch with deeper dimensions and other dimensions. And to be, again, that's where the gift gets born often, what's also called the wounded healer. And so that's the first thing. And the other message is often who I am or what I have to say just doesn't quite fit. And or I get the message that it's weird or strange or again unsafe to be fully who I am. And so the journey makes them very sensitive, very open, and often it also means the empath has to really understand where people are. They have to focus on where people are so they can make sure they're calibrating what they're saying and who they're being in a way that's safe. Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And so why that's so important to really understand that the real problem or the real challenge was I don't fully believe or trust or know that who I am and what I have to say and what I have to bring is going to be safe in this world, is going to be accepted, isn't going to be rejected. And that while that's a core wound, and a core wound is when we have to believe a lie about ourselves or the world in order to survive. So the empath has to believe the lie that who they are is not fully acceptable or it's not fully safe in order to calibrate and titrate who they are and what they're bringing. So that's a lie. It's not true, but it causes them to develop this extra sensitivity, this extra ability to tune into people, to tune into their surroundings as a way to protect themselves and as a way to find who's the person or the people or the tribe that can understand them. Now, the challenge as you grow up and as you keep growing and evolving, and you want to bring that voice and that vision and that healing energy into the world, is you're still often coming from a protective place, often still coming from the belief that it's not safe to be yourself. And so then that also either makes you hide, play smaller, not fully go for it, or in other cases, you don't feel like you have complete agency or control over your empathy, over your sensitivity. And so you tend to become overly sensitive, overstimulated easily, whether it's EMFs or people or foods or energies or all these different things. And so you often hear of empaths having all these challenges and needing everything to be just so. And so, a couple things. The first thing is, again, to shift this lie. It's not true that you don't fit. You're not here to fit in. You're here to stand out. You're here to stretch the status quo. You're not here to just calibrate to what makes people feel comfortable. You're here to reclaim your power, that you are here to bring a new frequency and a new energy that expands and up levels and ultimately uplifts. And that means reclaiming that you're powerful, that you're not at the effect of the world. You're not at the effect of the world's energies. You are here to bring an energy. And it's like you are the sun, and the sun isn't, too afraid of everybody else's light, right? You are here to bring the light and to bring the power and to bring the energy, and that's the big flip or the big shift to start. And again, and also understanding that your message, often an empath, whether they are a creative empath, meaning a highly sensitive artist like Van Gogh, they always said he was too sensitive for this world. And whether it's a creative empath or whatever, you're here again to uplift and uplevel and expand the vision of this world.
Excellent. I
I know
am,
that was a lot. That was a mouthful, but
it was
you
perfect.
asked a very big question to begin with.
That was absolutely perfect for framing how to let go of some of the ways that we conform to the world and begin to trust and show up as the beautiful soul that we came to this world to be. A lot of these beautiful souls, though, have abundance challenges. Can you tune into deciphering why some of the most beautiful people get challenged by scarcity or not having enough, and then allowing us to see some powerful breakthroughs that really can have us stand unwavering in love for our lives?
Well, yeah, I mean, again, I use the analogy, not the analogy, but the example of Van Gogh, and for some reason, but Van Gogh is famous for being one of the most famous artists who never sold a single painting in his entire life, except to his brother. And there's a lot to say about that. I mean, these are big conversations or big topics. What does it mean to be an empath, and how can you be an empath that is empowered and not always at the effect? But again, if you understand the principle of wealth and abundance, when I teach awaken wealth, the principle of abundance is all about circulation, the law of circulation. And basically, the law of circulation says that you cannot give what you don't have. You have to first have. You have to develop the consciousness of having, of I am, I can, I am able, I have. I am not on my way to more abundance. I am literally coming from it. And this is how all systems operate. The sun isn't the light beam of the sunbeam is not on its way to the sun. It's not on its way to the light. It's coming from the light. The wave isn't on its way to the ocean. It's coming from the ocean. The branch isn't on its way to the tree. It's coming from the tree. And you are not on your way to God or to good or to light or to wealth. You are literally an emanation of it. You are a beam of it. You are a branch of the one tree. And again, this is all about remembering, which literally means to put the members back together, to put the fragments back together, to remember you're not broken, you're not lacking, you're not less than, you're not weird, you're not different. You're weird in a good way. You all are freaks, but there was a typo in the Bible. It's not the meek shall inherit the earth, it's the freak shall inherit the earth. Jesus was a freak. Buddha was a freak. Mother Teresa, Gandhi, Dr. King, Mandela, Van Gogh, the greatest teachers, artists, leaders, visionaries, they're all freaks. So, welcome home, all you freaks, on the island of misfit toys. But that's a good thing. And you can freak out as long as you also freak in. And so I know I'm kind of cuckoo, see, and you can embrace your cuckoo-ness and your craziness. Again, the greatest shifts that have happened in all of history, spiritually, religiously, creatively, entrepreneurially, etc., were all people that didn't fit in. They were all people that were freaks. So the first thing to understand is that it's all about circulation, and you have to start with and embody the consciousness of having. I'm not lacking. I have everything. I brought it all with me. And then the second thing of the law of circulation is you cannot keep what you don't give away. So, first, you cannot give what you don't have. You have to embody a consciousness of having. To he or she who has, more is given and it shall be multiplied. Secondly, you have to give what you have. The, the fruit tree doesn't have any use of the fruit. It doesn't hoard it. It doesn't hold on to it. It doesn't wait for a rainy day. It gives of its fruit. The rose bush gives of its flowers. The flowers give of their perfume. They give all that they have, and then that allows them to blossom again and again and again. And then the final step in the law of circulation is you cannot sustain what you don't receive. So you have to give, and you have to receive. That's a complete circuit, a complete cycle. There's another area that we know that it's called breathing, right? You have to first breathe in, you have to have oxygen, then you have to give it away, and then you have to be willing to let it back in again. And a lot of people are walking around, and empaths are one of these, where they're giving, 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 right? But from a place of not having. They're giving in hopes that if I just give enough, eventually I'll receive. And so it's like breathing out all day and wondering why you can barely catch your breath and you're exhausted. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
Definitely.
The other version of the empath, as I said, so that's the first part, which you become codependent because you're always looking and checking and making sure it's okay to be you. And so you're often again more focused on others. The flip side of that, as I said, is you are holding back and you're waiting for evidence and conditions that confirm it's okay to be you. And then again in that place you're holding on, and you're not circulating what you have, and that leads to stagnation. So the key is you have to find a way to determine, what is the vision you have, what is the life you want, who is it you want to be. And you have to start with, whether it's a practice like that I teach, the visualization, vibration, radiation process, where you hold and you activate and you generate the energy that you already have everything you're seeking. That's the first part. But then you have to ask, if I really had this, if I really was this person I want to be, making the difference I want to make, how would I be circulating my gifts? How would I be showing up? How would I be speaking up? And you have to start taking those actions that represent that I am, that I have, that I can, and that I'm able. As the saying says, faith without works is dead. Having without giving is stagnation. And that's the process. And then the third piece, again, and this is part of the original breaking of the lie that I spoke about, is we now have to be on the lookout for all of the evidence of the love and the support that is coming our way. Remember, the original lie is I don't fit in, something's wrong with me, I'm not safe. So what happens from that story and that belief is we're actually looking for the evidence that confirms the story. So we're looking for, I'm not safe. See, they don't get me. See, I'm not safe. See, it's not okay. See, I don't have enough. And it's a loop of confirming that false belief. So we have to start looking for the evidence I am loved. I am supported. Life is for me. And again, so that's the third piece. And then we have to, whether it's a smile, whether it's a moment of what I'm saying today or what Jacqueline is saying today, because it's not I'll believe it when I see it. It's you'll see it when you believe it, and you'll be it when you start seeing it, right? It's where are you looking from? What are you looking through? And what are you looking for? So from is the story. What you're looking through is your filter of of beliefs, and then what you're looking for is your expectation. So when you start with the story, I was made for this. I came for a reason. Life supports me and loves me, and it always has. And I am supported in being who I uniquely and authentically am and having my unique voice and bringing my unique gifts. I am supported. I am sent by God. I am a messenger of love. I am a beam of the divine light. Now I'm looking from that place, and then I'm looking for the evidence that that's true. And so those three pieces is what repairs that circuit. And again, wherever there's a circuit, there's circulation, right? And again, your heart, if it just held on to the blood, you would die. If it just pumped the blood out and never got it back, you would die. It's a circuit and it's circulating the blood, right? Any system in nature, water comes in and it stops, it stagnates. If it goes out but doesn't flow in, it's dry, it's a dry riverbed. It has to circulate. And so but it circulates from the story, the new story that we're talking about, the truth. And the more that happens, the more circulation, the more abundance, the more growth, the more green. Literally the green grass and the green dollars in your hands.
Mhm.
Give me one quick second here.
Yep.
Does that make sense? These
Yeah.
are big questions. These are not simple little, these are like every one of these questions I could teach a whole workshop on.
You're knocking it out of the park. Thank you so much. And even like my next question was about awakening into our deepest calling. And you kind of touched into that. Um, but can you maybe speak a little bit more about how we can really tune into our heart, to our calling, to the gift of the empath that's within us, and knowing our world is calling us to show up now. And
Oh boy, it
there's no time
certainly
like
is.
now.
It certainly is. Well, by the way, I can't help but notice, is that a real tree outside the window there?
So
Is that a background or is that your real place?
it actually is a real tree. I took a picture of it because I couldn't be in that space. I
Got
have
it.
I'm in a sound booth, but so that is
Oh, got
a
it.
real tree that's feet
It's
away.
beautiful. It's just calling to me trees. I mean, I talk a lot about the seed and in the law of emergence, I talk a lot about that everything comes from a seed, including us. And in the seed, there's already a pattern, right? The seed doesn't show up as an empty shell. And then, like an acorn doesn't show up as an empty shell and then go, well, I got to go out and find a bunch of wood and build the oak tree. And it doesn't attract an oak tree and it doesn't achieve an oak tree. And the acorn is not an inadequate little nut. It's actually a perfect acorn. And so, likewise, there's a pattern in all of us. We didn't come here by accident. We didn't come here as empty shells and we need to fill ourselves up. Everything comes from a pattern, a divine idea. And inside each and every one of you, there is a perfect pattern of infinite potential and divine purpose that was planted in the soil of your soul even before you were planted in your mother's womb. And it's never been diminished, it's never been hurt or harmed by any condition, and it never can be. But it does need the right conditions that are congruent with it, just like every other seed in nature. When a gardener or a farmer is cultivating the soil and trying to grow a seed. She doesn't try to make a seed happen. She doesn't try to make a plant happen. She knows she has to create the conditions that make it welcome. She knows there's already a tree in that seed or a flower or whatever the case may be. And another way to think of it is like right now, your favorite music is playing, but you can't hear it because you don't have your radio station tuned into the station or the frequency where that song is playing. But the minute you know what station or frequency that music is playing on, and you align with that frequency so that you really are that frequency now, that station becomes manifest. In other words, you have a manifestation, right? And so, where was the music before? It was right here. It is right here. This is what Jesus was speaking of when people said, well, when's heaven going to come? And how are we going to know it? And he says, it's not going to come. It's not going to be lo here or lo there, for behold, the kingdom of heaven is at hand now. But having eyes you can't see and having ears you can't hear it. Buddha was teaching the same thing, all the great masters. It's already here. And so your destiny of greatness, that symphony of success, that beat of abundance, that rhythm of joy, that power, that brilliance, that genius, that perfect masterpiece, you're all here to reveal. It's already here. It's already within you. And it's a pattern, a divine idea. But like every seed and like that radio station, you need to tune into it. And that starts by having at least a little bit of a belief that it's true. Yes. But, and again, the lie that we talked about, the false story, I'm not enough yet, I'm broken, I'm lacking, the world doesn't get it, the world doesn't see me, I'm not safe. These are all frequencies that tune you into a different station. They tune you into KLACK, KLAC, instead of KRICH, K-Rich, right? Or they tune you into Killjoy instead of K-Joy, where they're singing the blues. And I like the blues, don't get me wrong, but those stories, as long as you energize and empower and focus on them, they tune you into a station that is not playing your music. But your music is here. You all have a destiny, and you are literally an answer to somebody's prayer. Nothing shows up in this world except as the answer to a need. Nothing. Like, why? Look around you. Is there anything in your life that isn't there because you had a need? And somewhere along the line, somebody knew that there was a need and they created a thing because it was an answer to a need. Nothing appears except as the answer to a need, a prayer, or a call. The problem is everybody's called, but most people let the call go to voicemail, where the universe gets the message mailbox full. So you gotta listen to your messages, people. You ever get that? You call somebody and you're like, mailbox full? What? When's the last time they checked their messages? So life is calling you. And when it's been calling and calling and calling, and you've been responding by saying, I'm too busy, I'm not ready, give me an extra minute, I'll get back to you tomorrow, for all of our reasons of stalling and excuses, and I'm not good enough yet. I need more money, I need more time, I need to feel better. I need, all of those are you not answering the call. Eventually, what the call feels like is pain, right? Love is the only force happening, right? The seed is trying to grow. But if you're not responding to life or to love, what it starts to feel like, because it's trying to push its way up on top of the cement you've laid over it and the walls you've built around it, as it tries to come out, because it's not going to stop. Life and love will not be mocked. It will not be stopped. It will tear down that wall with its root system. It will tear up that concrete, but it will feel increasingly painful because it's breaking away all of the stuff we've put on top of it. Does that make sense?
Totally.
And this is what Jesus also was saying in the Gospel of Thomas when he said, if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. And Brene Brown even said, unexpressed potential is not benign, it metastasizes. So there's an urgency of emergence happening in many of us, and we have to respond before it becomes a bigger emergency, right? And as you said, right now, the world is crying out. It's crying out for love. It's crying out to be recognized. It's crying out to for somebody to model what's possible still. And you're all here because you are those somebodies.
Brilliant.
And you're feeling the cry too. And hopefully I'm reflecting back to you what's possible.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Derek. You've touched so much through the question and the way that you've answered them so much on bringing light to the shadows. But there's one thing that I would love to hear your perspective on, and that is understanding masculine and feminine energies within us, and maybe even touching on mother father wounds.
I love that you're just asking the simple questions today. Just no, just simple little things. Boxers or briefs, just something simple. Um, these are great topics. It's funny. So, well, I mean, the masculine and feminine again. That's a very big conversation. Again, I'm trying to think where that lands. It's something I talk about a lot. It's important to understand that I mean, I'm also trying to weave it into because these are very big pillars of the structure of our humanity. Yeah. And so the masculine and feminine are principles. It's not men and women per se, although women tend to, on the spectrum, reveal more of the feminine and the masculine. Men tend to reveal more of the masculine, but it's absolutely on a spectrum. And the masculine is about structure, is about order. And the feminine is the pure life force, is the pure creative life force, right? And the shadow of the feminine is I'm too much. And the shadow of the masculine is I'm powerless, I'm nothing, I'm impotent. And the problem with the world as we see it right now is twofold. One is that we have the masculine has feared the feminine energy because on a deep level the masculine knows that the feminine energy is really the pure chaotic raw creative life force of the universe. And the masculine itself, and again it's not men and women, but the masculine, it shows up that way, is not itself the power. It is the form. It is the one that guards the temple, that builds the temple, that builds the structure to harness and to hold and to support the feminine. And so over history, it's gotten flipped where the masculine has, in the form of men often, has played the role of power and has repressed the feminine, and the feminine believing she's not powerful, having been gaslit from the masculine and the patriarchy, has shrunk her power to fit the masculine. And again, the feminine is meant to expand her wings and expand her power to shatter the structures that do not serve. This is why I say Jesus's ministry was the first fully feminine ministry in the sense that he didn't come to fit in. He said, I did not come to bring peace. I've come with a sword. And he came to shatter all of the norms and all of the status quo structures. Women can follow me, you know. Man was not made for the Sabbath was made for man. You know, he came to shatter all these structures, and it was a very feminine led ministry. And so the feminine is meant to expand and become more and more, and then the masculine is meant to identify what's the structure I need to build around that to support that, so that it can be not to repress it so that I don't feel threatened by it, but to support it, not to put the bird in a cage so she can't fly away, but to build what is it, an atrium, or a bigger space for that energy to expand. So that's what's trying to emerge right now, as all these structures are buckling or crumbling, and all of this stuff is going on. Is we need to understand that the masculine is meant to serve the feminine in her expansion. And if he does, he becomes an ever bigger temple, an ever bigger structure that can hold that. Now, that plays out in our history. There is the other side, and that's what's called, so that's toxic masculinity, but there's also toxic femininity, or what's called suicidal empathy. When the feminine is afraid of or doesn't understand her power, and I know I'm using his and her, she will tend to shrink and then project and make other people feel bad, including herself, for being too big and being too much. And then she'll end up sabotaging her own power, and ultimately trying to take down people and take down structures that are too big, too successful, too powerful. But it's really a projection of her not trusting her power, right? And so there's both sides of those. But again, it's important to understand this battle, or these principles, are within all of us. So what does that look like just for you? What it looks like for you is that inside this is played out inside of us. So for me, for example, in my marriage, as an example, the polarity, my wife is, has so much of the feminine, so much of the goddess energy, and so much of this expanded feminine, but she didn't have and hadn't had a good relationship around the masculine. And so she had a lot of flow and a lot of beauty and a lot of magic, but nothing really was sustainable. She had all this magic, but she wasn't able to manifest all of the abundance or even the solid relationship that she wanted, right? There's a lot of people that are spiritual, a lot of flow, but they can't pay their bills. As I like to say, they're trying to be a light in the world, but they can't pay their light bill. And so what's missing is the masculine. And it tends to end up creating chaos and disorder and unpredictability, and things aren't sustainable and things can't grow. And they're wondering why. I've had all these great spiritual experiences. I have so much love, but the feminine without the right integration of masculine becomes chaos. On the other hand, as the masculine, I had built a lot and made a lot of money and been very successful. And, I certainly had a lot of feminine development because I was raised by my mom, and, I've done a lot of work. But there was a degree of rigidity and a lack of aliveness. And so and that's what happens if there's too much masculine and not enough feminine. The magic gets choked away, the flow, the aliveness, the joy. And now you bring those two polarities together, and where I was able to support her in facing some of her own fears and shadows, that if she really structured and anchored and buckled down and got, grounded, her fear was she would lose the flow. She would lose her intuition. She would lose the magic. She would cut herself off from the spirit and all of that. And instead, what happened was all of that magic and all of that flow finally was able to become embodied in a life of more wealth, in a mission of art and beauty and healing that now she does. All her life she wanted to, but she never could. And now she's got a gallery and she's got all this art and she's got a healing modality, the beauty codes, and she's able to have abundance and homes and all these amazing things because the masculine got integrated, and she didn't lose her magic or her flow or her intuition. It's become amplified, right? It's become focused. Like if you have light and it's everywhere, it's diffuse. But if you create a structure and you focus it, it's like a laser that can cut through anything. And likewise for me, I didn't lose the abundance or the wealth or the structure or the order or whatever. My life just expanded to have more love, more joy, more magic than ever before. And when you put those two together, that's called the Tao. That's the yin and the yang. That's again the circuit. The masculine, the feminine is the master circuit, right? And and with many people, if they're struggling to make ends meet or to make a living, or to really, they've got all these gifts, but there's a lot of chaos physically, emotionally, financially, relationally. It's almost always a lack of the integration of the masculine. And again, it won't shrink or cut you off. It will create the proper structure for it to expand. And one great example on that is the term, the idea of paradise, like the Garden of Eden. Paradise actually means walled garden. It means this wild, untrammeled feminine energy that is supported and protected by a structure. It's the walled garden. It's the pot that allows the plant to grow. And so the balance of structure and form with freedom and wild creative potential is what creates paradise, is what creates a whole and integrated individual, is why the master teachers, when you study them, whether it's a Buddha, a Jesus, a Mother Teresa, a Gandhi, a Dr. King, a Mandela, whoever is your version, Lao Tzu, Kuan Yin, these were not just, oh, let there be light and love. They were badasses. They were strong. They were grounded. They were integrated. And they were pure lights and pure hearts. It wasn't either or, it was both and, right? They were spiritual warriors, not worriers. They were spiritual leaders, not leaners. They were integrated, and that's the key. And this is also the key for being an intuitive and an empath, is there's a lot of energy. We're connected, we feel so much, or we've had these experiences, and you even see that now in today's world where there's a lot of talk about medicine journeys and other, all these energy modalities or medicine modalities, whether it's, doing Qigong or doing Reiki, or it's doing ayahuasca or doing psilocybin. It's all the same kind of thing, but it's creating more chaos because there's not a lot of integration, right? And integration isn't just, getting in a circle and sharing what your experience was. It's if you've had an insight, if you've seen and you've touched something, you now have to ask, how can I actually live it for real? I've seen the light. I've seen love. God is all there is. We're all one. Great. Now, what are you going to put on your calendar tomorrow? What's the oneness going to look like when you go to the Starbucks, or you're in traffic and somebody cuts you off? Or if you really know that, how would God and love act as you in your family, in your relationships, with your work? And when you really are sincere and you ask about that, it will look like doing very specific real actions, writing that book, finishing that book, building that workshop, putting it actually out there, shooting a video. No, but I don't know how to do good videos. Do it anyway. You've had the vision, you've been touched by grace. You have to do something with it. And it's going to be scary and it's going to be uncomfortable. And it's going to be hard and you're going to make mistakes. But then you go back to the awareness, back to the truth, back to the insight, and then you do it again. And through that process, you build a circuit and you integrate your insight. You take that energy and sensitivity and you ground it. It's not a live wire that's electrocuting you or draining your energy. And now the faith becomes works. The invisible becomes visible. The heaven that is everywhere becomes embodied in your actions and literally in your body. And so that's how the masculine and feminine master circuit works. Does that make sense?
Beautiful,
You
beautiful.
ask a big question, you're going to get a big answer, my dear.
Been so generous with your time, Derek. Would you like to share with us your free gift, the vibration radiation meditation?
Oh, is that what we're giving away? Yeah, basically, you want me to just talk about what it is, you mean?
If you'd like, is there anything you'd like to share about it?
Well, basically, it's a process where it helps you to tap into what is the vision that is emerging for you and activate the visionary vibration to get you into that frequency we talked about, to get you tuning into the station where your music is playing. And then not only that, but then to actually, in fact, maybe to how much time do we have? Can I spend like 5 minutes and just do a little bit of it right now?
If you've got the time, we're grateful for your generosity.
Yeah, let's just take a moment just to get into this energetic and build a circuit. Sorry that I'm clearing my throat a lot. I did an ice bath right before this call, and I didn't have as much time to warm up, and so my whole body has been shaking this whole time. So 38 degrees. So let's just take a moment and just close your eyes if you're able, and take a nice deep breath. A lot has been said. Just let it all go. And just allow yourself to just completely let go and surrender. You're not surrendering to conditions. You're surrendering to the light within you, surrendering to the love that you are, surrendering to the greatness, the goodness, the genius, the brilliance that is within you. Just imagine you're saying to the universe, okay, I give up. I'm done fighting and resisting. I surrender to my greatness. I surrender to my abundance. I surrender all to my divinity, to how beautiful and powerful and wonderful I am as the very light of God, as the very emanation of love. I'm done fighting it. I'm done resisting it. I'm done waiting. I let go. I surrender all to my beauty and my brilliance and the fact that I'm wonderfully and magnificently made in the image and likeness and out of love, out of truth, out of God itself, an emanation of the one. I and my God, I and love are one. I am a unique, unrepeatable, unprecedented, individualized expression of all of the power and the presence and the love and the wisdom and the beauty of the universe. I let go to this. Take a breath and feel that. And as you exhale, let that feeling of your goodness, of how loved you are, how supported, how beautiful, let that feeling just bubble up in you and begin to radiate through you. And allow yourself to feel gratitude for the gift that has already been given. Life, love, God, truth, it has already given itself completely to you, in you, as you. Allow yourself to feel gratitude. I already have it all. I've already been given it all. Thank you, God. Thank you, love. Thank you, life. Thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you, Mother Earth, Gaia. Thank you, thank you, thank you, invisibles. Thank you, thank you, thank you, ancestors. Everything has already been given me. And now I'm willing to unwrap this gift fully and allow the presence inside of it to come out fully. Feel that inner willingness, that inner yes. And now throw your heart and soul wide open and allow yourself to see and feel and have permission to remember who and what you really are and why you are alive. See yourself living the greatest vision of your life. See yourself living your heart's desire. Being that light, that love, that teacher, creator, artist, healer, author, whatever it is, that master empath, that master transformational leader, whatever is your true heart's desire, see yourself now living it, being it, walking it, talking it. See yourself waking up in that life, waking up in that perfect home, moving through your day, doing the work you were made for, in the relationships that make you come alive. Making the difference, the impact, and yes, the income that you desire. You're successful, you're healthy, you're wealthy, you're happy, you're living your life to the fullest. See it. Take a breath and surrender to it. And let that feeling expand within you. Not forcing, but allowing. Allow yourself to notice things that excite you. Your completed book, or you're on stage, or you're looking at your bank account, or anything that makes you feel expanded, excited, like, I did it. I'm doing it. It's happening. You see somebody come up to you and they take your hand with tears in their eyes and thank you for being you and tell you how you've helped them or healed them. Feel it. Give yourself permission to have the life that you deeply desire and you divinely deserve. It's right here. Claim it. And now allow yourself to feel it even more as you take a deep breath. And as you exhale, allow that feeling of expansion, of light, of love to expand to fill your chest. That tingling feeling. And take another breath. And as you exhale, let that feeling expand to fill your whole body. Just circulating through your blood with every beat of your heart. This light and joy and love circulating, nourishing every cell, every organ, every function, bone, ligament, tendon, and tissue, being filled and nourished with light and love and joy and peace, beauty and abundance. Take a breath now, and as you exhale, let this energy have a color as it expands, radiating beyond your body, radiating. You're now a radiant being of light and love and power. You're not receiving other people's energies, you're radiating this light. And now, if you're able, place your hands in front of you, palms facing forward, and imagine the world like a small ball, a small jewel in front of you. And as you take another breath now, exhale and radiate all of this light and this love and this energy of your blessing and your healing power to the earth, and see it just being saturated. Every being, every creature in all of creation being blessed, saturated by your life force, your love force. And feel how good it feels to be the source, to be the blessing, to be the light. And it not only doesn't take anything away from you, but it expands you, it activates you. As you see it radiating to the planet, and then in your own words, silently, you can say or out loud, may all beings be blessed exceedingly and completely. May every being, every creature, and all of creation be blessed. Blessings unto all. May every being and every creature and all of creation be liberated, be healed, be loved, be forgiven, be free. Blessings unto all. Blessings unto all. And now see as this energy radiates through every dimension of the planet, blessing everyone, becoming multiplied and magnified, and it cycles and circles back around. And now all of this energy, pressed down, multiplied, and overflowing, flows back into you, completing the circuit. And you place your hands on your heart, receiving, breathing in all of this love and light and power. And now speak words of life into yourself. May I be blessed exceedingly. May I be liberated and loved and completely forgiven. May all of my needs be met abundantly. Just pour into yourself now. Let yourself be poured into. And you can speak it as first person I, or you can also change and try, may you insert your name. May you, Derek, be liberated. May you, Derek, be completely free and fulfilled. So do that now. Just say every positive, good thing about yourself to yourself. Just fill yourself up. Tell the truth about yourself. Take a breath. And as you continue to be filled up and see and feel this radiance growing and saturating and blessing everybody on this call, everybody in this community, everyone you're connected to, family, friends, colleagues, clients, everybody is being blessed that is a part of your consciousness and a part of this collective. And I just know that right here and right now, whatever needs to be realized, released, embraced, thought, spoken, done, so that each and every individual here and everybody we're connected to can be completely healed, completely liberated, and completely live their divine destiny of greatness abundantly, successfully, transforming the world and creating a world that works for the highest good of everyone. This is happening now. This is the miracle zone. And it's happening now. We are being quickened from the inside out, transformed and renewed in mind, heart, and body. Miracles are breaking out now in every dimension of our life and livingness. Miracles of physical healing, financial wealth and abundance, divine right work and opportunity. Every need is met abundantly now. And it's unfolding on time and in time with ease and with grace and with dignity. We are blessed exceedingly, and we are the blessings that the world has been waiting for now. It's happening now. Take a breath and receive it and accept it. And so it is. And so we are. Amen. Ashe, Shalom, Hotep, Aho. Hmm.
Thank you,
Yes, yes,
Derek,
yes.
bringing us into the miracle zone,
You're welcome. Thank you.
feeling those abundant blessings, the circulation, and the completed circuits for all.
Mhm.
No, they are blessed.
Indeed.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
I feel so incredibly blessed that you're here with us today. We have dropped the, Christy dropped the link into the chat for the free gift from Derek, in which he just blessed us all with this moment.
Mm.
And Derek, would you like to share about your upcoming book that's coming out?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, and then you guys can always get, if you go to my site, you'll get, there's lots of free trainings in the YouTube channel, lots of free videos and trainings and prayers and meditations. And we didn't talk about it today, but it's certainly going to be an important thing for what's unfolding in the world right now. I do have multiple books out there, but I have a new book coming out called A Whole New Human. And it's the 10 evolutions that we must make to survive and thrive in this AI, high tech, low touch world that is unfolding, and how we can and must evolve to not just fit in or survive it, but to live successfully, to live abundantly, to reclaim our humanity, and to even take what is truly possible with us as humans. We're at an inflection point, and there's an opportunity to outsource our humanity, which I would not recommend. And there's an opportunity to evolve our humanity at a level that we've all seen and touched, but now it's actually possible. And so this book goes into that and goes into that in depth. And it is also very much a survival guide in the sense that for all of you that want to be teachers, healers, coaches, authors, creators, change makers, it's really, really important to know that the changes that are happening right now, that are in the pipeline and that are unfolding, is going to be massively disruptive. It already is. We already see massive job loss, and it's going to create, and we already are in a meaning crisis and a loneliness epidemic, and it's only going to get magnified by algorithms and by the disruptions. And so that's the bad news. The good news is millions and millions of people are going to be looking and searching for light and for help and for those that can help guide them back to themselves and help them be more themselves, more human, more authentic, more on purpose, etc. And they're going to need you all. And the in my, I'm a student of history, and it's always during these great inflection points that the greatest new generation of healers and teachers and lights rise. And so if you've ever want to be that, if you ever want that, this is a once in a lifetime, once in a generation moment. And you don't want to be standing on the shores while the tsunami crests and be like, uh-oh, run. You want to be out there where the wave is cresting, and you want to ride it to the other shore, where you can not only have a beautiful life for yourself, but be able to serve a world that's going to need your light and your wisdom more than ever. And so this book is a guidebook for that. And if you go and pre-order it, I'm going to give you, and drop us an email. I'm going to give you some very special bonuses, including a special tool, AI tool, that's going to help you accelerate your progress with this, and many other bonuses and things. So definitely you can go grab that. You can just go to Amazon and get it and pre-order it. I think it's like $10 or something.
Excellent.
So yeah,
Oh, so generous. We so appreciate you here today, Derek, breathing, speaking life into the energized way that we get to live our lives,
yes,
show up, show up for ourselves and for those that we love.
it's my honor. It's really been wonderful. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you so much. You have been so generous, and we look forward to your book. Please let us know when it's launched, and we'll be happy to share more about it.
Awesome. I'm
Take
just taking a quick look around the gallery to see who else is with us here. I didn't have a chance to look before. Good to see you, Barbara. See Sophie there, and Kimberly, Adam, Elizabeth, Cynthia. Just sending lots of love and blessings to all of you. And
And
thank
please
you
share
again,
love
Jacqueline.
in the chat here for Derek. And we again are so grateful.
Oh
So,
yeah, I see the chat up there now. Great.
so